In 2024, I began researching the life of Dr. Mabel Elliott for her biography, Unbreakable Healer. Elliott was an American doctor who had saved countless lives in Turkey, Armenia, and Greece through her medical work. In 1923, after 4 harrowing years overseas, she wrote a memoir, a book she called Beginning Again at Ararat. That book was an act of defiance. Her governing board had forbidden her to tell her own story, but she had to reveal the truth about what she had seen. That book caused her to resign her post as Director of Medical Relief in Greece. As I studied her book, I wondered where and when it had been written. Something about the style in some chapters of the book stood out. Many chapters carried Elliott's usual fast-paced, in-the-moment writing style, while other chapters were more polished, in a quite formal writing style. It felt as if someone else's hand had shaped the text in many places. It was a mystery I had to solve. I thought maybe the book's contract could help reveal more. I started with the publishing company, Revell, which was surprisingly still in business, but I hit a dead end. They said they had nothing, but something told me that didn't ring true. I found an author who had written Revell's storied history. She knew they had the original book contracts in the company's archives, and there, in the old contract, I found the most stunning revelation I have ever had as a historian. I know most people are not familiar with Rose Wilder Lane, but almost everyone knows her mother, Laura Ingalls Wilder. In the 1930s, Lane worked side by side with her mother, Laura, shaping the Little House series of books. Rose Wilder Lane's sharp editorial hand and her agent's contacts in New York transformed Laura Ingalls Wilder, at age 65, into a published author with Harper & Brothers. Rose Wilder Lane herself was one of the highest-paid women writers of the 1920s. She was a journalist, a novelist, and a witness to the Armenian story through her work with Near East Relief, an aid organization. Lane went to Europe in 1920 with the Red Cross, then to Armenia in 1922 to work in publicity with Near East Relief. For decades, American literature scholars wrote of a rumored Armenia book by Rose Wilder Lane. They claimed it was never finished, that it had been lost. But it wasn't lost. I was holding it in my hands. Lane's diary, kept in the National Archives, showed that Lane worked with Dr. Elliott in Athens, Greece, from January to June of 1923. Together, they crafted the manuscript. They wanted to call it Children of Ararat. Now, 100 years later, their towering collaboration can finally be read as they intended. Dr. Elliott's vivid testimony of survival and Lane's deep research into Armenian history stand together in this new edition, Children of Ararat. Rose Wilder Lane scholar Sally Ketchum wrote a foreword that delves into Lane's work on the book. This edition adds footnotes for today's reader, new illustrations, and a full index. But at its core, it preserves their voices about what they saw in Turkey, Armenia, and Greece. Dr. Elliott bore witness. Rose Wilder Lane gave her words permanence. Together, they created a work that has stood the test of time. Now, after more than a century, we can see the world as they saw it and feel how it changed them. Children of Ararat, their story, their truth, finally restored.